Good evening. We're going to try something new. I'm going to be reading chains along with you for chapters 13 and 14. And as I'm reading, I'm going to stop and ask some questions and you can fill them out on your homework sheet. So let's start on page 79, chapter 13. Saturday, June 8th through Friday, June 21st, 1776. I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. That your sex are naturally tyrannical is a truth so thoroughly established as to admit of no dispute. But such of you as wish to be happy willingly give up the harsh title of master for the more tender and endearing one of friend. Letter of Abigail Adams to her husband John. So why don't you pause here and answer question number 1, which is, what do you think is the meaning of Abigail Adams' letter? Do you agree or disagree? And do you think this still holds true in today's society? Let's continue on. The front door opened the next morning as I walked down the stairs carrying Madam's chamber pot. It was Master Lockton, back from being arrested. His clothing was rumpled and he looked as if he'd not slept. He paused when he saw me. Tell Becky I require strong coffee and food. Where is your mistress, and what is she doing? Above, sir. I gripped the handle of the chamber pot tightly. Packing. He stormed past me, bellowing for his wife. As I dumped and washed out the chamber pot, I gave thanks. 'Twas clear he did not think me a spy. When I went back inside, there came a ruckus and much shouting from the second floor. I joined Ruth and Becky at the foot of the staircase, the three of us listening with big ears as Lockton and Madam shouted at each other. Shh, Ruth said, putting her finger to her lips. That's right, little un, said Becky. They don't pipe down soon, the whole neighborhood will turn out to watch. Crash! Bet you that was the wash pitcher, she said. Crash! And the basin, she added. Do they often fight like this? I asked. Often enough, Becky said. She stopped as Madam cried out in pain. The master likes to be obeyed. He's not happy she wants to head for Charleston, and she don't want to stay here. Lockton lowered his voice some, but he was still angry and scolding. Should we do something? I asked. Perhaps Lady Seymour could calm him. Becky shook her head. 'Twould fire him up even more. Best not to discuss these things. Ruth stuck her thumb in her mouth. Once the fighting had ended and the master had been served his meal, I took a cool compress and mug of cold ale up to Madam. As she applied the compress to her swollen split lip, she scolded me for not scraping candle wax that had dripped on the floor. It caused me to fall, she said. Do you see what your clumsiness cost me? We both knew it was a lie. There was no wax on the floor. A few drops of blood stained the edge of the carpet. What do you have to say for yourself? She asked. I didn't like picking up the blame and carrying it, but I had no choice. I bowed my head. I beg forgiveness, ma'am, and promise it will not happen again. She removed the compress and winced. It had better not. So pause here and answer number 2. Imagine you were Isabel. How would you have responded in this situation? Let's continue.